The following podcast is presented by Blue Ridge Production.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Unpacking the Occupation, the podcast where we help caregivers better understand the why behind their children's behaviors, emotions, and everyday challenges through an occupational therapy lens. I'm your host, Trina Esperante, an occupational therapy doctoral student, mom, and a fellow caregiver trying to navigate all the ups and downs that come with raising little ones. Today's episode is a special one because I am joined by one of my favorite people in the entire world, my best friend, Klaire. Klaire is an amazing mom to two beautiful children, and she has graciously agreed to join me today to share some of the challenges she's been experiencing with her 4-year-old daughter. Klaire, thank you so much for coming onto the show today.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Okay, so to start us off, right, I want to just start by talking a little bit about your daughter. I know she's 4, she just turned 4, right?
Yes,
Like
yes. Uh-huh.
a few days ago. And
Oh,
she loves just about every type of play imaginable. She enjoys sensory, pretend, arts and crafts, movement activities, books, puzzles, you name it.
mhm.
And how would you describe her personality to someone who has never met her before?
Um, I guess the best way to put it is that she's a firecracker. Honestly, she's social, right? She's very social, but when she's very skeptical, she'll kind of refrain from talking to whoever it is. But she's very
Mhm.
bubbly, she's very happy, she's very smart, she's an amazing little one. Like, I am so surprised that God literally blessed me with someone like her.
Aw, I love her too. And and it's amazing that you say that because one of the things that I think is so important for parents to hear is that every child is different. Even children who are the same age can have completely different personalities, preferences, strengths, and challenges. And while your daughter sounds like this amazing firecracker, creative, imaginative, and fun living loving girl, I know that there are a couple of things that have been a little challenging lately that you've shared with me. And
Yes.
I know you shared that bedtime has become difficult because she's developed a fear of the dark and worries about monsters at night. You also mentioned that social situations, especially around unfamiliar people, like at the park, being with other kiddos, can sometimes be overwhelming for her.
Mhm.
Do do those feel like the two biggest challenges that your family is navigating right now with her?
Yeah, I think so, but the biggest one is, the fear in the dark and
Yeah.
not being able to stay asleep. Like, I
Yeah.
find her waking up literally maybe about every 4 hours in the night.
Mhm.
I've tried, like, some natural remedies to help her sleep just to kinda soothe her, and nothing
Mhm.
has been helping. Um, However, I do realize that whenever we leave her TV on or whenever we have, like, a little nightlight, because we have, like, this, I wanna say it's like a starry night kind of nightlight,
Mhm.
and, she can't sleep without it.
Aw.
Oh, and I realized also, actually this morning, she doesn't like closed doors.
Oh, okay.
So when she's asleep, we can't leave her door closed because she panics.
Mhm. Yeah, she has to have it open,
Yeah.
right? Okay, well, that's some really good things. So it's a good thing that you have that nightlight set up and setting up the environment. That's an amazing step to help her feel comfortable, especially going to bed and setting up that specific routine for her. And so we'll go ahead and talk about those both of those occupations and unpack them. First, we'll go ahead and lead into the bedtime fears and why they're actually very common at this age, and also share some practical strategies families can try at home. And then we'll shift into playgrounds, play dates, and social participation, and just looking at what's happening developmentally and how parents can support their children as they build confidence around peers. Okay, so
Okay.
let's jump right into bedtime. So we talked about your bedtime. You mentioned your daughter has been having a hard time falling asleep because she's scared of the dark right now. Um, can you tell me a little bit about what bedtime looks in your house right now as far as your routine? Like, getting her ready for bed.
So bedtime, I wanna say so it's depending also on my work schedule because since I'm a manager at a grocery store, it's
Mhm,
very my schedule, it varies. So it's like
mhm,
yesterday I got out at 4 o'clock, and I had that hour and a half gap to, have for me and then pick up the kids. So, around maybe 6:30ish, I had her food ready. She had a light dinner actually only because she told me she had a heavy lunch. So,
mhm,
I did give her a light dinner. That way she doesn't have trouble going to the restroom or anything like that. So around 7:30, no, about 8 o'clock, I started winding her down. So I first took my son a bath. My son, he's 8 months.
mm,
I had to take him a bath first. And then once she saw that he was taking a bath, she wanted to take a bath. So after I got my son, after he winded down, he already fell asleep like around closer to 8:30ish. And
mhm,
then, while my daughter was taking a bath, I was making dinner for myself.
okay,
So, then I realized when after she got out of the bath, she just wanted immediately she wanted warm milk. So I was like, "Oh, okay, well, maybe she's ready to wind down."
mhm,
But then she kept questioning where her dad was. Her dad
mhm,
was closing yesterday, so he wasn't home yet.
yeah,
So she was calm, she was watching TV and everything, but once her dad got home, that was around 10:30, 10:45.
yeah,
She got a boost of energy back up, and she just didn't sleep until almost midnight.
oh,
Um,
okay,
so winding down, we tried to get it towards before 8 o'clock,
yeah,
just so that way we have that gap between 8 to 10 to kind of relax and soothe and, just
yeah,
chill out.
yeah.
Um, so that's usually if I'm closing, then of course, like her dad takes care of everything.
Yeah. And I can see how, having that fluctuating schedule can interfere with her bedtime routine, but the fact that you and your partner kind of have this dynamic of taking over this shift, like knowing what to do, can be really helpful for her routine as well. And it sounds like you guys, start winding down pretty early and having that routine. She's just more afraid of the dark, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just want to say that if there are any parents listening who are going through this, something similar, you're definitely not alone. Fear of the dark and monsters is actually really, really common around this age. And Claire, do you remember when you first started noticing these fears? Was there like a movie, a story, a life
Um,
change, or, did it come out of nowhere?
I think I wanna say it came out of nowhere, but the biggest time that I noticed it was probably last year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Me and my partner, we were going through a difficult time, so it kinda where we spent some time apart, right? So it kind of
Mm-hmm.
developed that fear of, "My gosh, my dad's not coming back," or, "My gosh, my dad's not here," or I think it was mainly that panic because I have that kind of that traumatizing moments also because when I was young, I went through that. So I
Yeah.
understand where she's coming from, so I'm kind of assuming that's what it is.
Yeah.
Uh, but we don't watch scary movies here. We don't really engage in anything that's scary.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, for crying out loud, this little girl liked, The Nightmare Before Christmas, was intrigued with, like, the clowns on Halloween too, and Halloween is her
Yeah.
favorite holiday, so I'm like, "I don't understand. There's no
Yeah.
monsters." Oh, but now that I'm mentioning this, I kinda remembered we introduced her to that movie Monsters, Inc.
Okay.
Right?
Oh,
And
okay.
it was part 1, not part 2. So part 1, they have the monsters coming from the doors and all that, right?
Yes, yeah.
So when I think that's kind of where it started.
Yeah.
It wasn't me, I promise.
That's
But I think
okay.
that's where it started because she has her own bedroom now and she has a closet. So I think that's kind of why she doesn't like closed doors because now even thinking about it, she even has her closet doors open.
Yeah.
So it's
Hmm.
like, I think that's kind of where something sparked in her.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Well, first of all, I want to share, say thank you for sharing that bit of, information about where your daughter started becoming scared to fall asleep. And I think that's really important to note too, right? Kids having these fears because of what's going on in their environment. And the best thing as like parents can do is just, giving those affirmations, letting them know that, you and dad are there for her, right? And, just focusing on making her feel comfortable. So thank you so much for sharing that. And then Monsters Inc. My son when we first introduced that movie to him, he was definitely scared of Mike Wazowski or the lizard. I forgot the lizard's name.
Oh,
Randall.
Rachel.
Yes, he was terrified of Randall. And, and going back to being having a fear of night and monsters, um, I always tell my parents that around 4 years old, children's imaginations are absolutely incredible, right? They're creating these stories and pretending to be superheroes, building imaginary worlds, and sometimes that same imagination can make things scary for them, and it feels very real, right? She can associate Randall or that monster from Monsters Inc. Um, and that can prevent her from falling asleep, right? And in her head, she thinks it's real. And to us, it's like, that's just a movie, but not to her. So, instead of immediately saying there's nothing there, sometimes it can help to acknowledge her feelings first. And have you found anything that seems to help her feel safe when she's having those fears?
Um, I noticed maybe the TV being on.
Okay.
Now as far as other things, I wanna say she sleeps best, honestly, when she sleeps with her dad.
Oh, okay.
But I think it's because me and her dad are very different. I'm very, how would I call myself? I'm very out
Gorgeous.
there. Stop it.
Gorgeous, beautiful, kind human being.
I'm very out there. I'm a very big people person. What?
Okay.
I'm a very big people person, and I'm the type of person that I will be kind to the most strange person until they give me a reason not to even have that kind of engagement with them.
Yeah.
And with her dad's a lot more reserved, more chill, more relaxed.
Mhm.
It seems, and I always joke with him and I tell him that you literally have no care in the world. Me, I stress about everything. And he's like, "Well, I mean, because there's no way to stress out about life." I'm like, "Yeah, but when it comes to the kids, it's, like, completely different."
Yes,
So
you're going at 100 miles an hour.
yeah, literally, and with him, I think since he's more mellow, more chill, she loves sleeping with him. She
Yeah.
loves it, absolutely loves it, and, like, he knocks out hard, so they'll be there
Yeah.
in the room knocked out, and I'll be over here relaxing in my own little space 'cause I don't gotta
Hey,
worry about somebody waking me up at 2, 3 in the morning.
mama needs a break.
Yes.
Mama needs a
Mama
break.
needs vacation.
But, it's really funny that you say that, right? How she kind of gravitates to his calm demeanor, right? And in the OT world, we call that co-regulation. So basically, where if we aren't feeling calm, right, and we're feeling overwhelmed, then our child is gonna borrow our overwhelmness and they're gonna be overwhelmed. And then you're just gonna be overwhelmed.
Mhm,
So that's really important to kind of have, especially when you're having these hard moments with your daughter, right? Or trying to get to her level, just having that calm state. But we'll talk more about that in a little bit but I just really loved how you mentioned that because that brings up a new topic of co-regulation. But going back to, nighttime and sleeping, right? Something that we have been taught in OT school is how a child's body is feeling before bedtime. We often focus on getting our kids physically tired, but sometimes they also need help getting their nervous system ready for sleep.
yeah.
And we talk a lot about the senses in OT school. And I know people usually think that there are just five, which I'm okay. The sense of hold on. Hearing, touch, smell, taste, and I don't know what the other one is. Sight? Sight. Yeah, there you go. But parents usually don't know that there are 3 hidden ones, which is proprioception, vestibular, and interoception. And I know these are really big words, right? But we're gonna be focusing on proprioception.
Okay.
And what this basically is your body's awareness of where it is in space. And the cool thing about proprioceptive input is that it tends to be very calming for the nervous system. And I'm talking about, giving her tight hugs before going to bed, or, rolling her, swaddling, swaddling, or rolling her in a blanket, making her into burrito, right? Or giving her heavy work to do before bed. Um,
Mhm.
what does she usually do, like, an hour or 2 before bed? Is she running around, watching TV, playing, winding down? I know you said that it depends, based on your schedule,
Yeah.
but, like, what does the majority of, her time before bedtime looks like?
I wanna say it's mainly her running around, her hopping
Mhm.
around on the couch. Mm. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, this little girl, she's wild. She's my little wildflower,
Aw.
flower. She honestly, she runs around, she watches TV. I know
Mhm.
that for her to kinda calm down, it's the warm milk.
Yeah.
Um, and she has to have it from a bottle. She won't have it from anything else.
Yeah.
So I kinda got this nipple for the bottle for it
Mhm.
not to ruin her teeth, and thankfully, I got it confirmed by the by the dentist.
Mhm.
They actually said, "No, well, her teeth are healthy still, so she's completely fine with that." I'm like, "Okay." So, we do that, but I think honestly, she just runs around everywhere,
Yeah, she runs
honestly.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's really common for kids to do, because I know my son does it, my nephews do it, and I have other friends who kids do that as well. And it's sometimes like, "How do you have all of this energy? It's the end of the day, like,
For
go to sleep."
real! Like, work, man.
And, going back to this proprioceptive input, right? For some children, adding a little bit of heavy work before bedtime can be really, really helpful. And by all means, heavy work does not mean like exercises, intense exercises where it's like dumbbells and weights and all that stuff. It could be, like how I mentioned, it could be simple things like carrying a laundry basket filled with toys, pushing the basket across the floor, helping clean up toys, or even carrying books back to her shelf. Um,
Okay.
I like to tell parents to think of heavy work as helping the body feel organized and grounded before sleep. So it helps this proprioceptive input exercises helps the body, become calm.
Mhm.
And another strategy that you can possibly do with her, and this would be a fun one to do together, right? Is making something I don't know, like a monster spray. So,
Like
you
a
know,
monster spray?
a monster spray. So,
Oh, so like an
yeah.
imagination kinda thing.
Yes, yes, yes. So that way it's simple and kids love it. They think it's magic. It works. At this age, their imagination is just popping off, right? And you can take a spray bottle, let your daughter decorate it with stickers. I know she has stickers because I gave her stickers for her birthday. Fill it up with water, maybe
Oh,
add
you the one that got her stickers.
Yes, I got her stickers. Fill it up with water, maybe even add, like, lavender, which is like a soothing scent, right?
Oh,
And
okay. Yeah, yeah,
food co
yeah.
and even food coloring, right? And make it a part of this bedtime ritual, this routine, and this is something that, you and her or her and her dad can do together as a bonding moment and just spray her closet, spray her bed, spray underneath her bed, and
I
just
like
before
that.
bed.
That's a good
Yeah.
idea.
Yes, yes, and it's really and here's a really important part. The goal isn't actually getting rid of monsters, right? The goal is helping her feel comfortable and feel in control. So when kids are scared, they often feel powerless, right? This gives them a job and it helps them feel safe. So that's one thing that you can do at home. And shifting gears, right? What does her bedroom setup currently look like? I know you said that she has a nightlight. Does she have like a favorite stuffed animal, a blankie, right? I know she has her bottle, but what else? Can you go ahead and tell us what her bedroom setup is like during her bedtime routine?
Her bedroom, so as soon as you walk in, her TV is the first thing on the left. Um, she has a little setup in the corner for all her toys and all that. Straight ahead, it's gonna be her bed. On her bed, though, I will say, so we used to have, like, this little hammock, for her toys.
Mhm.
And she kinda ripped it off, so all the toys are now on her bed. Um, so no matter how many times we tell her, "Put them away, put them away, put them away," she does not put them away. So all of them are just there on her bed. Now, however, on her bed, like, kinda where the headboard, because it looks like a day bed, and on the
Mhm.
side, there's little slots for the books. So she has
Okay.
all her books there.
Mhm.
Um, Sometimes occasionally, I'll catch her getting a book and she'll, like, just glaze at it, but then she
Mhm.
gets distracted and she leaves it there, and then it completely blows the whole proportion out of it.
Oh.
Um, but and then on the right, it's gonna be her closet.
Mhm.
Her closet does have her toys, have clothes and blankets and all that. Uh,
Mhm.
However, she also does have a scooter that she's completely obsessed over. That scooter, for the life of her, she will not put it away.
Okay.
So I
That's her
think
comfort item, I
I
assume?
guess, I don't know, like, I wish I could say, "Oh, this is her comfort item," but it's because but you know what? Now that you're mentioning that, she has, like, now 7 blankets, of a dinosaur or a unicorn. So I
Oh,
think
yes, I've
that's
seen
her
those.
comfort item
I've
because
definitely seen those.
yeah, so growing up, she became obsessed over them ever since she was, like, 5 months old. 5 months
Mhm.
old, and if we forgot it, she would throw a fit. Um, there's been times also that I was at Target and she saw it, and she'd be like, my blanket," and she threw the biggest fit, and
So
I'm
you
like, "I had to buy it."
that's that's how you have 7 blankets.
And a symmetrical one for her birthday, and I was like, "I don't need more."
Aw.
And it got to the point to where at daycare, there was, also another little girl with the same blanket,
Oh, no.
and the little girl gave it to and I'm like, "No, I'm okay, thank you." She took it I mean, my daughter took it, I'm sorry, and I'm like
Aw, that's so funny. I don't know
so
what it
now
y
I got 3 unicorn and 5 no, 4 dinosaur. Yeah.
Hey, anything to make our kids comfortable, right? She's gonna
Okay.
have
And she sleeps with
just
all of them.
that well, that's good. So she has, she has her preferred setup. She wants all of these blankets. She wants that scooter in there for some reason, right? And
Mhm.
if these items are helping her calm down at the end of night, and it's not doing any harm, leave it, right? And going back to a bedtime routine, right? The wind down process doesn't have to start, I think, like 5 minutes. It could start around like 2 or even like an hour beforehand. And think of it like an airplane. You don't just drop straight down, right? You gradually slow things down so the body can transition into sleep. And in this case, having like a set routine, having her preferred items in her room can help the process of her winding down. And, having that monster spray too you can now incorporate it into your bedtime routine. Switching gears, right? One of your other concerns was being at the playgrounds and socializing with other kids, right?
Yeah,
Yes, and you mentioned that she can be pretty shy around children she doesn't know.
yeah.
What does this usually look like, and does she kind of stay close to you or watch from a distance? And does she get upset when children approach her?
No, she'll watch from a distance.
Okay.
Like, she won't come near me or her dad.
Okay, that's okay.
She'll kinda stay there. Now if someone approaches her, she'll just, like, kind of freeze. I guess maybe
Hmm.
she catches the vibe, and then if she doesn't like it, she'll run to me.
Okay.
She won't run to her dad, she'll run to me.
Mhm.
Uh, and then she'll kinda test the waters.
Yeah. So she's not necessarily shy. She's just like, "Do I know you? Do I want to play with you?" type of deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
And
she's not shy. Mm-mm.
okay, yeah, no, she's not shy. Yeah, so many parents worry that their children, or their child isn't making friends quickly enough, but social confidence develops over time. And at 4 years old, many children are still learning how to enter this play era or, start conversations, take turns, and just figure out social rules. When you go somewhere new, do you notice her looking back at you often or, checking to make sure you're still nearby?
I wanna say I do.
Okay, that's good. Okay, yeah, that's really good because that's actually something we like to call social referencing. And basically, she's just checking in with her safe person, and you are her safe person, or her dad is her safe person. She's asking, am I okay? Is this place safe? Can I explore? And honestly, that's a really healthy developmental skill.
Yeah.
And one thing parents can do to kind of take this pressure off is instead of saying, go make a friend, try narrating what you see. So, for example, you can tell your daughter, look, they're building a sandcastle, or look, that little girl is going down the slide too. Or I wonder what game they're playing, making it very wanting them to kind of investigate like what's going on. I want to join in on the fun, right?
Yeah.
By doing this, you're helping your child observe the environment before she's expecting them to jump in. And some children need that social warm up period, and that's completely okay. Um, how often do you take your daughter to go to the park?
Not as often as I'd like.
Hmm.
But when we do, we kinda go to the one near home, and there's always kids,
Yeah,
always. Um, but I wanna say maybe, if I had to guess, 4 times a month.
4 times a month, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's really and I know she goes to daycare, right?
Mhm.
And she has her social participation and, her playtime with her friends at school. And she's starting big girl school, right, in August. How are you feeling about that?
I don't think it's hit me yet. Like, I don't know. I know when, because she recently graduated from daycare, um, I r I mean, of course, I wasn't able to attend because I had to work, but seeing the pictures and everything, I'm, like, getting a glimpse of, like, the future, and I
Mhm.
wasn't sad, but I was more proud of anything,
Yeah.
'cause it's like, "Wow," like, "I did that."
Aw,
Sounds kinda
yes.
selfish, right? But, no, when I
Not
see her,
selfish at
I'm
all.
like, she's like the perfect representation of me, like, I did that, like, me. I
Yeah,
get
yeah.
her.
Yeah, and, you being there and having her, guide, right, is just an amazing testament on how you are raising your daughter. And
Yes,
going into what I like to say, big boy school for my son, but big girl school for your daughter, right? She's
yeah.
just going to continue to grow and develop these social skills. And sh- I have, without a doubt, is she's going to be exactly like you, where she's so talkative and she just loves people and people love her, right? And so that shyness or like that weariness of, going up to kids that she doesn't know is gonna develop, and she's gonna be this big, beautiful social butterfly, and I cannot wait to see that unfold.
I know, tell me about it. I can already see the poof ball going around everywhere.
Ah.
No, we were actually joking about it the other day, where I had said, "My daughter's gonna be the heartbreaker,
Mhm.
and my son's gonna be the one that is gonna be, the heart taker."
Aw.
And because they're completely, like, day and night, they're completely different,
Mhm.
and, somehow it works, it works,
Yeah.
and with my daughter, she's very mad. So, like, I have no words, like, we literally call her the Sour Patch Kid.
Aw. Hey, but, having parents who are so proactive and very involved, like you and your partner, right, guiding her to become this best little human being, she's gonna find her own path, and she's just gonna be an amazing, ball of sunshine. I
Mhm.
100% believe it. So Claire, before we wrap up, I usually leave my parents with an OT tip of the day, and today's is about connection comes before correction. So when a child feels safe, supported, and understood, they're much more likely to build confidence and independence. Whether that's reading a bedtime story, creating a monster spray together, right, helping get carry laundry before bed, or simply sitting beside them while they watch other children at the playground before joining in, those small moments of connection can have a huge impact. So, one thing I hope you and other parents take away from today's conversation is that fears, big emotions, and social hesitation are often a normal part of development. And our children aren't trying to give us a hard time, right? They're having a hard time. And sometimes the best thing we can do is meet them where they are and support them through it. So, again, Claire, thank you so much for sharing your family's experience with us today. I know so many parents listening will be able to relate to what you've shared today.
Yes, of course. And thank you so much for having me.
Yes, yes. And hopefully, the strategies that I've talked to you at home can be, helpful for you and your household. And I just can't wait to hear an update.
I know. I can't wait for the next one.
Woohoo! And thank you to everyone for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to like, follow, and share the podcast with another caregiver who might benefit from today's conversation. For more updates and all things unpacking the occupation, please follow me on Instagram, OT with Trina. And remember, every behavior tells a story. Every occupation has a meaning, and sometimes all we need to do is slow down and unpack it as well as love ourselves through the process. Mahalo!